Here are the casts and the characters they play. Eurasiasperbund. Yaya. As Saikim, daughter of a wealthy businessman. Mario Maurer. As Kaukla, owner of a car workshop. Saikim comes from a wealthy family whose life has been strictly dictated and planned by her father, Song-si, since her childhood, and she is expected to live up to her father's aspirations. As a result of her upbringing, she grows up as an innocent girl with few friends. She meets Kaukla, a hot-blooded ex-convict and a mechanic by chance, and subsequently through a series of unexpected encounters she ends up getting pregnant with his child accidentally. Consequently, Kaukla finds himself pursued and threatened with arrest by Saikim's father for allegedly abducting her. Even though he is unaffected by Saikim's father's threats, he proposes that she accompany him to his rural hometown to ease her concerns about confronting her father, taking on this responsibility for making her pregnant. They make a deal whereby upon giving birth, he will take care of their child while she will start a new life on her own. Living a serene and happy life in the countryside, where she helps run Kaukla's adopted father's farm and homestay, they gradually develop an affection for each other. Kaukla suggests that they formalize their union by registering their marriage in order to provide legal status to both her and their imminent child. However, their happiness is short-lived when Kaukla falls into the trap set by Song-si, Saikim's father, and is framed for smuggling, leading to his eventual imprisonment. While in prison, Kaukla once again falls victim to Song-si's plot, which leads him to believe that Saikim has given up on him, aborted their child, and is seeking a divorce. Experiencing a mix of anger, distress, and sorrow over Saikim's decisions as well as his father and sister's struggles in defending his case, he opts to sell one of his kidneys to financially support them and commits suicide in his cell. Simultaneously, Saikim is also led to believe by her father that Kaukla has never loved her all along and that he only married her for money, and is now seeking a divorce. While Kaukla is in critical condition after his suicide attempt, a wealthy woman named Asia Raman, who is Kaukla's stepmother, appears abruptly, claiming that she has designated her terminally ill son as the legal recipient of Kaukla's kidney. In exchange of money for Kaukla's kidney, which Kaukla's adopted father refuses to accept, Asia Raman offers to provide the necessary support to save Kaukla's life and his future endeavors. 7 years later, Saikim is no longer the innocent girl she used to be. She has become the CEO of her father's hotel, while Kaukla, too, is no longer the rough guy of the past but a successful up-and-coming businessman. Believing that Saikim had betrayed their love and killed their child, Kaukla holds a deep resentment against her and reappears in her life to seek revenge. Saikim is shocked to see Kaukla again as she had all these years believed he had died of suicide, as told by her father. Assisting in the running of his stepmother's business alongside his own adventures, Kaukla strategically positions himself as a direct competitor to Saikim's hotel and aims to weaken her company. While Saikim has moved on and is planning to marry her longtime admirer, Danthai, Kaukla is dating an international supermodel, Claire. In his attempt to forget Saikim, Kaukla begins to date Claire but later realizes that he is unable to do so and still loves Saikim, especially upon learning that he had been deceived by Saikim's father all along. He strongly believes that Saikim also feels the same way towards him. Collaborating with her father, Saikim works hard to counter the challenges posed by Kaukla. Her ordeal intensifies when she realizes that she has not yet divorced Kaukla. Consequently, she not only faces difficulties in marrying her fiancé, Danthai, but also feels pressured by her father to divorce Kaukla and seek matrimonial compensation from him. However, Kaukla, who still harbors feelings for her, refuses to divorce her, using revenge as a pretext to delay her marriage to Danthai. Simultaneously, when Saikim believes Kaukla is about to propose to his girlfriend, Claire, she is unable to restrain herself and feels heartbroken. After experiencing a volatile relationship between them, Kaukla finally expresses his desire to reconcile with her. However, as they start to revive their previous romance, Saikim's father is targeted in an assassination attempt, straining their relationship as Saikim suspects Kaukla was behind it. Although Kaukla feels grateful to his stepmother, Asia Raman, for saving his life, their relationship takes a turn towards enmity when Kaukla discovers her attempts to separate him from Saikim. As Kaukla endeavors to regain Saikim's trust, he faces two opponents, Saikim's father and his own stepmother, Asia Raman, who both are attempting to seek revenge against him. Meanwhile, Saikim, who finds herself caught in the midst of the conflict between Kaukla and her father, grapples with her emotions towards Kaukla and her strained relationship with her father due to her failure in divorcing Kaukla. Uranant Palmorn Montri. Song-si. Sikim's father, a wealthy businessman, Chutiman Chayanka Ransukying. As Lita, Sikim's good friend. Songsi raised his daughter Sikim without her mother after chasing his wife out of Sikim's life due to her infidelity and her tarnishing of his reputation back then. As his future successor, he has been raising Sikim strictly and pressuring her to meet his expectations since her childhood. Filled with intense anger upon discovering that Sikim has eloped with Kaukla, he discreetly devises a plot to separate them by framing Kaukla for a crime, leading to his arrest and imprisonment. Upon noticing Sikim's continued grief over Kaukla's imprisonment and her reliance on their mutual friend, Lita, as a messenger between them, he discreetly alters a letter intended for Kaukla and manipulates Lita into betraying Sikim. Lita, who is under the steady sponsorship of Songsi's foundation since childhood, has her scholarship revoked when Songsi blames her for being a bad influence on Sikim that results in his daughter eloping with Kaukla. Upon Kaukla's imprisonment, Songsi subtly threatens and entices her, offering to send her to study overseas alongside Sikim in exchange for her help in separating Sikim and Kaukla. Lita, who had long believed that Kaukla is not a good person and is enticed by Songsi's offer, agrees to betray her close friend Sikim. She lies to Sikim, telling her that Kaukla wants to end their relationship. Sikim, heartbroken by the deception, eventually gives up on Kaukla and continues her overseas studies. Songsi's relationship with his daughter, Sikim, faces a setback when his plan to outsmart Kaukla not only fails but backfires on him due to Sikim's negligence. Additionally, as a result of Sikim's failure in divorcing Kaukla, he loses his trust on her and subsequently removes her from the CEO position. When Sikim is no longer leading the company, Songsi's hotel encounters financial difficulties, which gives Kaukla the chance to seek revenge against him. Fuming with anger at Kaukla, his animosity towards Kaukla intensifies when he suspects Kaukla was behind an attempt to assassinate him. Lita's friendship with Sikim suffers a temporary setback upon Sikim's discovery that she had betrayed her 7 years ago. Meanwhile, Lita, who opposes Sikim's reconciliation with Kaukla, finds herself developing feelings for Sikim's fiancé, Danthai, as she grapples with concealing their emotions while still supporting Sikim and Danthai's impending marriage. Thachatong Sabanu. Pop. As Danthai, Sikim's fiancé, a banker, Ranch Ra'io Kul Warahwat. Mint. As Claire, Kaukla's girlfriend, a supermodel. Claire's relationship with Kaukla is going smoothly until she discovers about his past marriage to Sikim. When she indirectly causes Sikim to get involved in a near-fatal accident, Kaukla makes a deal with Sikim whereby he agrees to divorce her in exchange of her not reporting Claire to the police. However, despite Kaukla's assurance that he will divorce Sikim and leave her for good, she is not convinced because she knows that he and Sikim still love each other. Meanwhile, Danthai, who is planning to marry Sikim, is also upset upon learning about her past with Kaukla. However, he decides not to call off their wedding after believing that she has finally broken up with Kaukla. However, Danthai's plan to marry Sikim faces objections from her father, Songsi, who believes he is after her fortune. His own father also disapproves of him marrying Sikim upon learning about her past with Kaukla. As a result, Danthai's relationship with Sikim begins to fade, and it is during this time, his acquaintance with Sikim's good friend, Lita, becomes closer. Supachai Sinong. As Camp employee at Kaukla's workshop. Mighty Ni King Payon. As Asia Raman, heir to a billionaire, Kaukla's stepmother. Kem is Kaukla's former cellmate who works at his car repair workshop. When the workshop is forced to close due to its involvement in car tax evasion, Kaukla gives him all of his savings to help him start a new life. However, he is later coerced into betraying Kaukla by songs, leading to Kaukla imprisonment. Having been forgiven by Kaukla, 7 years later, he becomes Kaukla loyal assistant, helping Kaukla to confront Songsi. Upon Kaukla's pledge to sell his kidney, and while he is in critical condition following his suicide attempt, Asia Raman emerges, asserting her terminally ill son's right to receive Kaukla's kidney. She offers Kaukla's adopted father her assurance that she will spare no effort in saving Kaukla's life and caring for him as if he were her own son. Following Kaukla's recovery, she sends him to study abroad and makes him run her company upon his return. However, despite her kindness to Kaukla, which earns his gratitude, she has ulterior motives up her sleeve. Additionally, she views Kaukla as a substitute for her husband and frequently acts seductively towards him. She uses Kaukla, who works for her, to triumph over Songsi's hotel and attempts to separate Kaukla from Saikim because she is envious of Saikim and fears Kaukla may leave her for Saikim. However, despite being indebted to her, Kaukla turns hostile against her and walks out from her life upon learning that she is out to harm Saikim. As her animosity towards Kaukla deepens, she ultimately becomes overwhelmed by feelings of grief and guilt upon uncovering a truth about him. Angsana Buranan as Fijika, Saikim's aunt. Vardhangsananda as Prom, Saikim's cousin. Sadatachat, Tana Patbizal. Fawn as Prim, Saikim's cousin. Pijika is Songsi's sister-in-law who believes her children, Prom and Prem, are not receiving the family fortune as they deserve. Throughout, she has held dissatisfaction with Songsi for favoring his daughter, Saikim, over her children and plans to regain more control over the company which Prom and Prem have inherited some shares from their father. Her hope of enlisting Songsi's assistant, Sun Cern, to help her in her plan against Songsi by engaging in a secret affair with him is shattered when Sun Cern refuses to betray his boss. When Songsi's hotel encounters financial problems, he blames his nephew, Prom, and removes him from the company. Furious about his termination, Prom vows revenge and ultimately collaborates with his nemesis, Kaukla, against his uncle. Similar to her brother, Prem has also always been unhappy about being frequently unfavorably compared to Saikim by her uncle, Songsi. As a result, she has become envious of Saikim. Along with her mother and brother, they seize every opportunity to undermine the relationship between Saikim and her father while simultaneously trying to earn Songsi's favor. Wanchana Sawasti as Rhett, Kaukla's stepfather, runs a farm. Marilyn Kate Gardner as Kloijai, Kaukla's stepsister, runs a homestay at her father's farm. He married Kaukla's biological mother and changed Kaukla's name to protect himself from the family of his biological father, Raman. Raman deliberately impregnated Kaukla's mother, who was his mistress, with the sole intention of using Kaukla's organs to save his legal son, who was terminally ill. Although he may come across as harsh towards Kaukla, in reality he loves him deeply. When Kaukla is imprisoned, he sells his land in an attempt to free him, but this has led Kaukla to feel more indebted to him and decides to sell his kidney to provide for him. Kloijai, Kaukla's stepsister, was shot while defending Kaukla from Saikim's father, which led to the amputation of her leg. 7 years later, she has transformed from the farm girl she once was into a professional, working for Kaukla's stepmother, Asia Raman. Similar to Kaukla, she also harbors resentment towards Saikim and supports Kaukla quest for revenge against Saikim's family. Sarudvichat Prananda as Sun Cern, Songsi's personal assistant. Narumal Neelahan as Unroan, Songsi's servant who dotes on Saikim. Ramavati Siri Sukha Pupe as Rareen, mother of Saikim and Claire. Shahyana Nutakam D as Saji, Lita's mother. When Saikim was just a child, Rareen's husband, Songsi, expelled her from Saikim's life due to her infidelity with another man and the publication of her nude photos that damaged her husband's reputation. Rareen, who is also Claire's mother, encounters Saikim by chance, but they choose to hide their relationship from Claire, who turns out to be Saikim's stepsister. Saikim, who was initially angry, eventually reconciles with her mother upon learning the truth about her mother's absence during her childhood years. Despite Kaukla's achievements, Rareen does not hold him in high regard upon learning of his involvement with both her daughters. Namgun Bunak as Nimthong, Heritage's house owner whose house is much sought after by both Songsi and Kaukla. Parichat Break Mug as Chor, servant at Heritage House. Surapol Poon Piriya as Danthai's father. Natnan Pinaroi Karati Napat as Hern, boyfriend of Lita's mother. Mario Maurer as Nate Raman, terminally ill and in a coma, son of Asia Raman, step-brother of Kaukla. Emily Kontich Steenberg as Saikim, as a child. Puwanart Kumpalan as TV host. Rachahwat Klibngan as policeman. Rachanat Kumpanat Sanyakor. Pokbong as Kiman, dealer of luxury cars. Nadi Shai Huapong as Cha Chai, Songsi's hotel manager. Siri Wet Charoen Chan as policeman. Pun Priadi Rod Sahwat as Yumsorn, Kaukla ex-girlfriend, flight attendant. Piratagri Yung Zoomran as policeman. And Thong Persom, producer of this drama. credit to Thai Channel 3. Thank you for watching.